to talk about the genius loci of India. Why this nation being the greatest human existence from time so back in centuries, with all kinds of great wisdom and philosophies and perspectives, is not actually achieving its entelechy, the entelechy of a nation. I have written about organizational entelechy. So this is about the entelechy of the nation. In my methodology of observing the details, I see three simple manifestations of general behavior of the human entities that comprise the land of India. Like the people comprise an organization. I see three simple blocks, let us say blocking conditions. Of course, the greatest truths are hiding in the simplest of truths, or rather the simplest of details. They are, for example, the general tendency of taking people for granted, taking others for granted, that the tradition of rather meaningless kind of perspectives that guided evolution of Indian society. People have become the most unimportant things. Paradoxically, in a land where Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi and Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam were the leading missions. Simple examples of taking people for granted. For instance, not expressing a thank you in some form or the other. When someone does something for him, when someone says something positive or giving a lesson or an insight, that sense of expression of gratitude by word, that is accepting the identity of the other person. Also, Mada, Pita, Guru, Devo, accepting the identity of the Guru, not just taking away whatever he or they provided, but recognizing it. This is revealed also in, for example, not reaching on time for meetings and any other instances where people are invited and people have consented to be present. At least 95% of all the meetings I have happened to attend, at least 10 to 30% of the audience came little late. In the so-called training programs I have conducted for top organizations in India, in creative leadership or in creativity and innovation. Of course, the first day the participants come in their own time. Perhaps the only place where people reach on time may be the film, the cinema theatres, where they get to the fun of their life. Fun, the pleasure principle. And the greatest methodology, as I told you, it is a cultural, it is a traditional, historical phenomenon. See, I am absolutely a master of graphologist. The implications of the movements of the body represented by graphical symbols in paper or stone or anywhere. Of course, my gratitude to those geniuses who created the methodology of handwriting analysis also on the basis of analysis of the graph. See that language is the central power of human existence. If we talk as of today, some kind of a signal communication which all creatures have, which of course the primitive man also must have had. Now let us talk about the time now. There is such an elaborate language, a great number of languages in the whole world. And language is written. That's the way language is learned. In that perspective, graphologically meaning, every movement of the hand has its implications in the very brain. For example, I can identify for sure at least 80 to 85% of the attributes of an individual just by looking at his handwriting. And that too, the hidden and subtle aspects, sometimes that which the individual himself has never been aware of. It is not a test of ability or anything, it is pure science. And by my experience and intuition, I am perfectly good at it, because no books on graphology can give all the handwritings in the world. So it needs that creative intellection to identify the variations of possibilities and the variations of implications. Anyway. So script, that is by looking at the script. Look at the script of Sanskrit. It is written under a line. So if you look at the graphical, the graph, the line and the progression, the written, the communication is under the line. It should lie below the periphery. It should lie below the threshold. It should have been above the line. When you mark something important in a textbook, you write a line above the word or below the word. So, which is now popularly known as in the form of Hindi language. It is written under the line. So, if India has to redeem the wonder of the human beings, that upper line, that aspect of giving a line above the script should be eliminated forever. And I am very sure, though I have not done that, all the great philosophers and writers in Hindi must have avoided doing that line. And even without that line, that script can be easily read. And anyone can buy the basic book on graphology and see the implications of somebody's handwriting under the line, which never happens. Of course, there are cases of neurosis and other dysfunctional attributes explained with guarantee. If somebody writes on the line or under the line of, for example, a ruled book. So, these are the three indications. One is not saying a thank you in whatever vernacular language to someone who offered little bit of an assistance, whatsoever it be. Secondly, reaching in meetings, where it is in somebody else's house or to anybody. Keep that time, because that person may be waiting there. It is a respect, it is a consideration of his appreciation of his activity and decision to come more, to wait for you, come out to meet you. See the difference of the West. There everyone is important, because they have come from various lands. For example, in the US, they have to recognize everybody else. The human, so-called human dignity is very high there. So India's genius law says the entelechy of the India as a nation is blocked by several things, of course, but these three can make a significant perceivable change within a period of 3 to 5 years. Why English? That kind of a script is leading the world. The form, to talk a little bit about graphology at the end, because this could be a challenging proposal, but removing the lines of the script. If you look at the normal graph, x-axis and y-axis, how marks are plotted, how increasing measures are plotted by lines in gradual height. Okay? So if you extend the axes, so the central point being origin, any line going above that y indicates progress. Something that keeps along the line, something that below the line. So all these things are actually implied. I can even identify the possible probable illness of a person by looking at the handwriting with clarity. I can even suggest the changing of body conditions by asking the person to change the writing and doing exercise on that. Because every movement of the hand, especially the most innovative, the most important part of the body, all acupressure and target of all those things, the hand is most innovative. And even for the minor movement of the hand, n number of neurons have to work. The neurons are the switching stations of the body. In the same neuronal, in the same biochemically produced electrical field of neuronal area, the cerebral cortex is the person, his attitudes and values and beliefs and response tendencies and mindsets and abilities and such things. So it is not watertight compartments. Everything is interconnected. Everything is in linkages there. So one behavior one side, meaning there will be parallel behavior and parallel potentials on the other side. Why someone takes so much of time to write an alphabet? Because that much of time is taken to create that new neuronal field and to stabilize it. Now it is automatically done. That automatic movement of the letter R does not mean the number of neurons have become reduced or there is nothing working inside. Of course, this is a suggestion. When we talk about the entelechy of a nation, everyone is free to understand the concept of entelechy and understand and observe, at least for the sake of one's own existence and survival and sustenance. Of course, one can think about the entelechy on its own too. That's an altogether different topic. Thank you for listening to me.